Would you please help me to welcome our CEO and President, Mr. Andy McWilliams.
This place about to blow.
Okay. First of all, what did you think of the new presentation, everybody? Right on. I can't wait to see everybody else's versions, how they're going to go do this, put your sincerity to it. But that is an awesome presentation. I've been in this industry a long time, and it was just delivered by two of the best in the industry, Marty Hale and Antoine McVeigh. Thank you so much, guys. Hey, that's not easy doing a presentation like that for the first time in front of all of you guys. So they did a great job, and I appreciate it. First of all, for our guests in the room tonight, this is like a normal, Friday night meeting we do here in Texas. I'm just kidding. I know there are a few guests because I met a few of you out in the outside the doors there, and I'm so glad that you're here. This presentation, this weekend, everything we're doing is designed so that you can make a decision about Momentous. Some of you are deciding whether or not you're going to be a customer or a representative. Some of you are deciding, now that you are a representative, how hard you're going to go for it. Some of you are deciding to change your lives forever. Whatever that decision is, we're here to help to do it. By providing that, the presentation like we did, by talking about things, by working you through the trainings we're going to do, by launching new areas, everything we're trying to do is we're looking for people who have been looking for us. We want to help people that are looking to help themselves. So when you see that presentation and they're going through the money and they're talking about all the common sense approach to this business that we've taken, I just hope that it comes through that we are a family business. I represent my family up here, they represent their families, and there's room for everybody. Any of you, and all of you, are important to us. I know that they got to stand up on the stage, and that's where I am right now, but all of you could be up here, and we want you up here. By the way, it's so obvious to me that we need to get more women up on the stage. Wouldn't you agree to that? At least make it better to look at than Marty and Antoine. I have like 5 other jokes that I'm not doing since we're recording. Anyway, I am so grateful that I get to talk to you guys at the end of this presentation because it is where my heart lies. I love network marketing. I love relationship marketing. I love what can happen to somebody who is willing to go to work and do the right things the right way. When you get caught up in momentum, it can change your life. I want to quickly go over that with you. In 1994, I was offered an opportunity to work with a company called Excel. When I heard about that opportunity, I was a dead broke college student, and I was a happy dead broke college student, but I was dead broke. My wife worked 2 jobs, I worked 1. But anyway, if I want to take that out. I was going to get a raise. I was going to make her get a 3rd job, but I figured that would be too much. At one point, I was running golf carts because I wanted to learn how to play golf, and I couldn't afford it, so I figured the best way is to go work at a golf course. But then I got fired from that job, and I know that it's a low point in life when you get fired from a cart boy job. I wish I was kidding. So anyway, my wife is thinking, what have I gotten myself into? Here's my man taking care of me, running carts, getting fired. I remember when I got the call thinking, I need to do something with my life a little bit different, I think, at this point. That $6 an hour job didn't work out too well. So we're broke, and we're thinking, where do we go next? How do we do this? So I had a great group of friends. I've been raised in a loving family, had great friends around me. I was a happy-go-lucky person, but I wanted something different. I would literally drive by houses and see cars and think, how could anybody afford those? I mean, I was struggling on a $325 a month rent, and I'm not exaggerating. Our electricity bill was always late, right to the point where they'd send that last final notice. There are 3 notices that they send. If you know what I'm talking about, do not act like it, right? There are 3 notices they send. And the last one, you normally have 48 hours before they turn it off. I found this out because I would turn off and I'd be like, man, there goes the 48 hours. Okay, let me go borrow money to go get it turned back on. And we would have our telephone get shut off, and that one always hurt because you ever heard that noise, doo-doo-doo? You ever heard that, doo-doo-doo? You are broke. That's what it says, everybody. It would get shut off, our cable would get shut off. When that got shut off, it was like a national emergency in our house, right? Because like most people, when you're dead broke, I would watch TV to escape. I wanted a different life. I'd see how everybody had it, but I had no idea how to get it. So I get invited to a job. I was gonna apply for a job with my buddy Leon Fowler, and we were up in Tallahassee, and his stepdad, a guy named Walter Grace, calls up and says, Leon, I got a job for you and Andy, but you guys got to go through the application process. Okay, and he says, go get a suit. So, of course, I don't have a suit. I got to go borrow a suit. I borrow a suit from a buddy of mine that played football on the Florida State team that was literally so big for me. It was ridiculous. It looked like it was swallowing me up as I was walking. I'm a big guy. This guy was huge, right? And Leon and I get dressed up, and we go to the Leon County Civic Center on a Wednesday night, I believe it was, at 8 p.m. for a job interview. So right away, I'm going, why a job interview at 8 o'clock at night on a Wednesday? I need a job, so I'll go. And as we're walking in dressed up, we see literally thousands, just like you guys, all dressed up, thousands of people walking into this event. And I'm thinking, are they going after the same job I'm going after? Because I really don't have any qualifications or anything. I remember Leon, who is one of the greatest guys ever. I love him to death, but he is this country boy, right? He's walking in, he's got a big dip in, a Copenhagen dip in, right? Because he's nervous about it, because he doesn't know if we're going to get the job, right? And he looks at me, he goes, I told you we should have brought our resumes. I'm like, I don't have a resume. I don't even have a resume. What is a... Yeah, I was a cart boy done, you know. I said, man, what is this? He goes, I don't know, but Walter said it was good. Let's go. So we walk in, we walk up, and there's a whole bunch of registration tables, right? Walking to this nice lady with this big hair. I'll never forget it like yesterday. I said, yes, ma'am, my name's Andy McWilliams. I'm here for the interview. And she said, oh, absolutely, way to go. Come here, sign in right here. Let's give you a green sticker, Andy McWilliams. I said, great, thank you. Right. The green sticker must have said, you know, you're lucky to be here, Andy, kind of thing, because everyone walked up to me and said, Andy, you are lucky to be here tonight. Way to go, buddy, way to go, like that, and shake my hand. I say, excuse me, I'm asking everybody, excuse me, what are we here for? And they go, oh, you're going to find out. It's so fantastic. Did you see the weather today? It was so nice outside, the weather. And he's like, it's great. Go to the next, what are we here for? And they go, you're lucky to be here, buddy. Just go down, sit up front. Keep going up front. Get up front. Sit us right in the front, right? There, Leon and I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. I asked one other person with a green sticker on, right? And I'm like, do you know what we're here for? He's like, I have no idea, but I guess we're lucky to be here, huh? So, it's not quite an elaborate stage like this, but there's a whiteboard behind this guy. His name was Marshall Douglas. Absolutely fantastic speaker. He's up here dancing and doing this stuff, talking about his jets. They're throwing pictures up of his Hawaiian vacation. For 2 hours, we're there for 2 hours, an hour and 50 minutes, that's all he talked about, were the new shoes he bought, the watch he found, the whatever. It was one thing after another, and I am buying into it hook, line, and sinker. I literally was sitting there going, yeah, whoa. I'm looking at Leon, I go, we are lucky to be here, man. And Leon is the total skeptical guy, right, cynical, and he's like, what is this? Is this a church? Is this a cult? What are we doing? I said, I don't know, but I want to do it. That's what I want to do. The last 10 minutes, the guy draws circles on there, and he goes, you buy your detergent here, does the whole thing, and then he pushes it down, literally shoved it down onto the floor and walked out. And I am up high-fiving people, man. I'm hugging everybody. And Leon goes, what is it? I go, I have no idea, but I loved every second of it. I want to do it. So I start asking people, did I get the job? Did I get the job? Did I get the job? I was told, you can't make this stuff up, I know. So the lady says to me, I walk up to that same lady I found with the big hair, and I said, ma'am, I want this job. Did I get it? She said, you need to go ask the person that referred you here and ask them. And I said, great, let's go, Leon. I said, I want to impress your stepdad. I go, let's go there. So we drove from Tallahassee to Fort Myers. It's about 5.5 hours. We drove all night long talking about how we were going to have those jets and these things, and I had Leon driving, of course. And he's dipping the whole time, and I'm talking the whole time. Man, wait till I want new shoes too, and I'm gonna get a watch just like that. And we get to Fort Myers, we pull in a little, it's early in the morning, right? And we're waiting for Walter to show up. And so I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and waiting. All of a sudden I see his car, but bam, I'm out of the door. And I said, Walter, good morning, buddy. We went to that meeting last night, interview. I think I got the job they were saying it was good. I gotta ask you. He said, come in and sit down. Did I get it? Come in and sit down. Okay, come in and sit down. Walter, did I get it? He goes, Andy, you're emotional. Yeah, I've been up all night, you know, I've been drinking coffee all night. I was at that event. I'm emotional. What? You need to go home and think about it. What do you mean think about it? I definitely want it. No question, I'm thinking about it. Go home, and in 1 week, if you want to do what they said, then I will sign you up. Still have no idea the name of the company. I look at Leon, he's just staring at me. I'm like, what? I don't know, what, we got to drive back now? We're driving back 5.5 hours? Drive back to Tallahassee, Florida. The whole time I'm not saying a word now, and he's telling me, don't worry, it's all gonna work out, stop crying over there. You know, I'm like, I missed it, I didn't get it. Of course I didn't get it, it's a great job, I'm not gonna get it. We go back that night, Leon finds out, he comes over and he goes, you know the name of that company, don't you? You all know the name, don't you? What the name of the company was, probably. Starts with an A, I'm not gonna say it, but you know it. Yes, that's the way they used to do it, right? Back in the 90s, it was an old way of doing network marketing. That weekend, I get a call from a coach of mine, and he says, he talks to my wife. Christ calls me all weekend long. Finally, on Sunday, at the crack of noon, Leon and I are up talking about our future and eating cereal, and he answers the phone, hands it over to me, and I hear my coach tell me, how would you like to get paid every time somebody makes a phone call? And because I had had that experience of a few nights before, I was like, yes, this is even better than what they said, because that phone I pay for every month. So I'm like, yes. So I told him right there on the spot. Now here I am sitting in my mismatched, the horrible apartment. If you saw our apartment, it's horrible. We got this one leather couch that somebody had left out on the side of the road, you know, and we covered it up so it wouldn't smell and looks nice. And I'm sitting on this, dead broke. Any second, it's gonna shut off. Something's gonna shut off in my house. The TV, the electricity, something is going off, right? My wife had just left for one of her multiple jobs, and I'm sitting with Leon, my buddy, and I tell him, listen, coach, I know all about what you're talking about. And if you want me to join with you, then you need to come up and get me tomorrow. Now, he's 6.5 hours away. I am a deadbeat loser at this point in my life. And yet I'm throwing posture on him about the business. He said, no problem, I'm coming to get you. I'll be there tomorrow. I'm like, oh no, now he's coming up. Now I got to do something, right? So I said, Leon, you're going to be here tomorrow, man. He's coming to present. In a 2-hour presentation, he showed me a company called Excel Communications. In a 2-hour presentation, these guys did this in 25 minutes. 2-hour presentation talking about deregulation, talking about how deep the cables are buried. It was horrible. It was unbelievable. At one point, Leon and I had slid to the side of the couch, and we were trying to watch TV around Coach as he's talking. We were completely bored out of our minds. I remember hearing like nightmares as Leon's dip cup. And I'd know he'd get excited about something. Coach, something, you know, go faster. I'm like, what am I doing? As excited as I was about that other thing, this was the worst presentation I'd ever seen. And then finally he got to the money, and he said, you can make $100 every time you sign somebody up who gets a customer. And so I remember thinking to myself, how many times can I do it? And I raised my hand, Coach, how many times can I do it? He says, many times you want. Okay, will you take it away from me at all? No, not only that, you get paid on the customers. I remember this wave of intensity coming over me. I said, what do I need to be able to do this? Can you actually let me do this one? And he said, we'll sign you up right now. It's gonna cost $700 and some. It was like the music stopped at a party. Sucked the air out of the room, right? It was like, and I remember feeling Leon staring at me. And I go, look, man, relax, stop, yes. Coach, it really sounded like you said it cost us money to do this. That's what it sounded like. Please say it again. Do it. Go ahead. You messed that part up. Cost you $730. Leon, stop. Coach, you're look around you, okay? While we're standing here, the electricity got cut off. How am I going to pay $730 for a job? You know, I knew there was a catch, right? So I did what most people do. I signed up. I wrote the checks where there was a minus $16 in the bank account. No problem. Wrote those 2 checks. Handed them to Coach. Took the application. He drove off. Waited for my wife to get home, right? I said, baby, how much money do we have in the account? Do we have $730 in there at least? She went right to I'm changing to my other, job. Okay, comes back out. Baby, how much money do we have in the account? Minus 16, minus 19, something like that. Why? What do you need? Which is good for us. Like, we were happy about that, right? Oh, only that. Good. We're not going to jail this week. And she walks by, and I said, well, because I wrote a check for $730. I immediately start bobbing and weaving, getting out of the way of things flying at me. What? Are you crazy? I said, baby, don't worry, I'm calling my dad. I'm calling my dad. Dad, I need to borrow money. Why? Because I'm going to start a business, and it is an awesome business. As a matter of fact, you can be a customer. You can do it with me. You'll be a rep. It costs $730. You know what he says to me? What do most people say? Oh, yeah, it's one of those pyramid things. I said, I had no idea what a pyramid is. I go, oh, okay, is that good? And he goes, oh, yeah, it's good, but they're illegal. You got to meet my dad. He's sitting up in the front row. Oh, yeah, they're not bad. You can make some money, but they're illegal. You can go to jail for it. He's in the silver jacket with the red tie on if you guys want to talk to him later. Okay, go to jail for it. Yeah, so now I'm getting upset, right? Because I've been through all this the last week. I know my wife's upset at me. Now my dad's telling me I'm going to go to jail. And I said, well, all right, but I'm going to make some money before I go. I mean, I was desperate. I wish I was making this up. I'm really not. It's getting worse and worse. But anyway, I'm going to get off in a second. So I borrowed the money to get started in that company. I started working, and I started talking to people. And you can imagine, look what I was trained on, right? Everything was wrong. Everything was wrong. I started calling people up saying, come to my house, bring your checkbook. I called up my buddies. And so I started calling the dumbest people I knew. I had this one guy from Savannah, Georgia named Earl Sellers. He and his dad were literally two of the slowest people mentally I've ever met in my life. Earl, is your daddy home? Yeah, they live together. You know, he was 30 and his dad was 60. They live together. Is your daddy home? Yes. You sure? Daddy, yeah? Yep, he's home, okay. Both of you bring your checkbooks and come over to my house. That was my recruitment. They showed up and I said, boys, write me checks, each of you, for $730. We're in a business. Okay, that's what they said. Okay, what are we doing? You got a telephone? Yep. Okay, great, you're perfect, you're qualified. Write the checks. When they walked out of my room, when they walked out of that one-bedroom apartment, and literally when that door closed, I was going, oh, I have found the mother lode. If that presentation did it, I'm gonna be rich. I can't believe this. I immediately started calling my other dumb friends. Come over, bring your checkbook. Come over, bring your checkbook. Come over, bring your checkbook. Come over. One after another, after another, after another. My first day in that company, I qualified to make over $1,100. I remember thinking, I just waited at the door for my wife to come home, like this, just waiting for her to come home. As soon as the door opened, I was like, baby, you were wrong. I am the man in this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's the greatest. Look at this. Look at me. I look at the stack of applications and checks. We're going to be rich. She said, well, what do we do here? I go, I don't know exactly. I know we need some customers. So I'm in charge of rep recruitment, and now you are in charge of customer gathering. Yep. Look, you're gonna get really good training tomorrow. This is not it for all you guests, okay? And it's almost over. Some of you are going, where the heck is he talking about at this point? So my wife says, okay, all right, she'll do it, because now I've got her convinced that we're gonna be rich from this, right? So she decides she's gonna start calling people to be the customer. First customer she calls, hi, Aunt Michelle. Oh yeah, it's Amy, your favorite niece in the whole world. Yes, I love you too. Oh, thank you, I'm not the most beautiful girl in the world. Oh, okay, thank you. Hey, will you be my customer? Hello, 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 hello. And Michelle, you hung up on her? And Michelle, it sounded like you hung up. Hello, Aunt Michelle. She hung up on her again. What? 3 times, boom. She remembers taking that yellow pad, throwing it at me, going, you're in charge of customers. How about that for your business? She walked out to her second job. I'm like, this can't be difficult, right? This can't be hard. Started trying to get out of the car. I decided I hate it. I hated it, hated it. It wasn't until I understood the power of the compensation plan that I actually ever gathered customers. When I realized the money I was missing, when I realized that that was the lifeblood of what we were doing. But I hated every second of it. And some of you are gonna hate it too, I'm gonna tell you. Some of you are gonna be better than one thing or the other, but you're gonna realize it's worth it in the long run. As we started to build that company, because it was the right time, that company in 1994, this was April 22nd, 1994. I'll never forget it. That company was going from $31 million in 1993 to $1.4 billion in 1996. We were getting started at the exact right time. So even a deadbeat loser college guy, all of a sudden everyone I talked to was saying yes. I remember when somebody said no, we were like, no? You're not gonna work the business? What are you, an idiot? What are you, not gonna work the business? Because everybody was making money. There was momentum with that company. And so anybody could feel it. It just was around us, right? Timing really matters. May 10th, 1996, that company made a big decision, and we lost our founder. The guy, the visionary, lost control of the company. And so that company started dying. So on the way up, I couldn't do anything wrong. On the way down, I couldn't do anything right. I became an expert at network marketing. I'd signed up some of the biggest players to this day in networking had signed up in my group. So I'm watching it, learning it while they're paying me obscene amount of money, and thinking to myself, this is the greatest thing on the planet. To all of a sudden, how am I gonna hang on to it? It cycled out, it was going away, and I was thinking, oh, what happened? So in 2004, I left and went to another company called ACN. You guys might know the name. Great company, great people. But when I got there, the deal that I had was unbelievable. I mean, I brought over a bunch of people, so they gave me a deal, but I would stand in front of huge groups, tens of thousands of people at a time, and tell them how great that company was because of what they had done for me and my family. But in reality, I was talking about something that they were not going to participate in, because very few people were ever going to go out and bring huge groups over like my partner and I did. So when I was talking to them about the actual essence of what we were talking about, it wasn't relatable. It was not what I was talking about a completely different company basically than them. So that integrity started tugging at me. Plus I was in a bad partnership. By 2007, I left. 2007, I decided I was going to start my own, lost my money like that, bing, gone, because you cannot start a network marketing company without having a ton of capital. It's just the way it is. It's why the Just Energy portion of this is so important to all of our families. We have the resources to make this work worldwide like that, and you guys are going to benefit from it. But in 2007, after I failed miserably at that, and lost all my money, my wife, we're back to that same feeling. Now we got 4 kids looking at us. And let me tell you something, when you know the difference, you know the difference. So now it's not like we were broke and never known what it was like to have money. Now we had money for years, and now we've lost it. You can imagine that is miserable, right? So I said, I'm not going back to work, because I knew in network marketing there was nobody out there that I wanted to be with, that I wanted to go to work and sacrifice like. So I started consulting, trying to help companies become those kind of companies. I did it for all kinds of companies, and yet they would take 1 or 2 of every 3 or 4 things I offered them. Say, you got to do this, this will be perfect. Nobody would do the whole picture. So finally, I had a good friend of mine, Chris Domhoff, who is our founder of Momentous and a visionary. Yes. Called me up one day, as you guys saw in that video, and said, man, let's have lunch. I said, great, buddy. Are you in town? Because he lives in Dallas. I live in Fort Myers. He goes, no, meet me at 11:30 in Atlanta. I said, Atlanta, what? Is that a new restaurant in Fort Myers? Because I'm in Fort Myers, No, meet me in Atlanta, Georgia. Who flies like that? Who says, hey, come meet me in another state for lunch, And here I am, I'm struggling, I'm consulting, but I was so far under that, you can make money, still be broke, right? So I went in and I said, okay, buddy, I'll be there, because in 2004, when I left and went to ECN, he started a company called Ignite here in Texas. And it had blown up. I mean, absolutely unbelievable revenues. 3rd year, 800 million, and they were in 1 state with 1 service. So I knew that my buddy had started a multi-billion-dollar entity, and I said, I will be at your lunch. Where do you want me to be? Because I don't know how many friends you have that started a company like that. I was going to listen to my friend when he said, you need to meet me. I flew up and I sat with him. I remember walking into that restaurant, him saying, Andy, I need you to say yes to something. I needed 2 yeses. I got 1 from my wife I need you to say yes to. And he said, I'm going to do another one. I'm going to start a new company. Don't. I said, no, don't do it, man. I love you. You're my friend. Don't do it. You're crazy. You know what the chances are of you starting 1 company that'll work like that to do 2? He goes, give me 20 minutes to explain to you why I'm doing it, and then you tell me yes or no. 20 minutes to the T. After he was done, he showed me Momentous, talked about Just Energy. I said, yes, I'm in. Let's do it. Let's get started. So I went back in the trenches. After all those years, everything we'd been through, I went back to work. On April 17th, 2010, so just less than a year and a half ago, we launched in Toronto, Canada. This company launched. We did a meeting where we had given away the positions to get started. That was our way that we were trying to get people in the room. Show up and we'll give you a free business. There was no cost to get started. 70-some people are sitting in this one room, this beautiful room. It was meant to hold like 350. There were 70, so it was hello, 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 right? One person here, one person here. It literally felt like if you were there, you felt like, why am I the idiot that showed up kind of thing, And we gave the business away. 31 people took the free business. Out of those 31 people, 9 people answered my call the next day. Out of that, 3 people put me in front of somebody. We started from nothing. We didn't buy our leaders. We didn't buy organizations. We started from nothing, grinding it out. Mike Adams and I, we would go do meetings, and we would plan, please let there be 3 people, but 6 people. It literally started from nothing, but it was the only way that I knew how to build it organically so that we could build a foundation that will actually withstand the massive growth that happens when you hit critical mass. I know it was a long shot. I knew it then, but the idea was so right, and nobody has ever had the Just Energy equation part of this. Nobody's ever had that. Had those kind of resources, this kind of timing, this kind of magnitude on a scope. I mean, I just kept thinking, man, if that one company could do 800 million in one state, what could we do with the world if we did more than just deregulated energy? What if that were what we lead with? But what if we started adding these other services everybody pays anyway? And then what if we blended those services with things that trend and make sense so that we can start to have the kind of suite of services nobody else has? And we put it with a comp plan that, to me, in my opinion, is second to none ever in the industry of network marketing. So all we needed at that point, all we needed was you. All we needed was from people to buy into it. We have a few of the original reps are here. Andy Ali, Don Bell, I know is here. Clifton and Grace Wright got started with this right away. Jackie and Ken Fleck are here. I know there are people here that are from Toronto. That Toronto group's awesome. They're well represented here. Yeah, they've been through it, guys. They know what it's like to sit in meetings where we expected 50 and 10 show up. And let me tell you, it's not easy. And some of you wouldn't have started at that. But guess what? So we're going to talk about this meeting as one of those meetings in a year from now. We're going to talk about, remember when there were only 1,000 people at that presentation, that first presentation? We're going to be laughing about it. As we continue to grow, as things start to happen, it's up to you. It's your responsibility to put your families in front of this wave. But here's what we're doing, and here's why you should be working harder than ever. Because as we open these new territories, as these new services come online, as we get better at recognizing, communicating, and presenting, as we continue to develop our outreach to the representatives as a corporate part of this, as our leaders begin to get more and more refined, as they learn how to stretch out and run a little bit harder, as they figure out, as the culture begins to grow inside of Momentous, what you're going to see is that massive momentum get created, just like I experienced a long time ago. And that momentum, when it hits here, is going to hit like a ton of bricks. All of you that are sticking it out, working hard, I don't care how hard it gets, if you're here on that day when that critical mass happens, your life is going to be different. You will take care of your financial issues forever, just like I have been blessed to do in so many different occasions where I have been able to stand in front of people where they look me in the eye and say, my family is so different now. Grace Wright was up here today with her husband Clifton talking about mindset. Grace said something to me 3 weeks ago. I told my wife makes every bit of the pain worth it, a building. And there's always pain, believe me. If it's worth it, that's one thing, but it's gonna take sacrifice. But Grace said to me one day when Clifton was up there doing his presentation, she said, look at my husband, he's completely different. The ability to go out and make this kind of money on a weekly basis and grow a business from scratch and to be able to help people has changed how he is. And she was telling me this as she was emotional. I didn't get emotional in front of her because I'm a guy, but I walked around the corner and I almost started crying because I was thinking to myself, can you put a price tag on that? Can you put a price tag when people can go out and they wake up earlier, they wake up more excited, and they have hope again? I don't know if it's $300 a month or $300 a minute that you want, but whatever it is, you can achieve it at Momentous, but you gotta start. Everybody has to start in Momentous. And there will come a point where you're in Momentous, there will come a point where Momentous gets into you. And as you begin to develop yourself and work hard with us, we're gonna be there as a corporate office. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be there running with you. We're gonna help you do this, but you've got to decide to do it. Right now is your chance. Right now is your opportunity of a lifetime, of 10 lifetimes. This is never gonna happen again like it is right now. I promise you that. It's never happened before, it's never happening again. Right now is the time. Why not you? Why not now? My wife says to me every time, yes, I'm almost done. I wanna leave you with a couple thoughts. First of all, my wife has said to me every time I get on a plane, I'll get in a car, she says, baby, if you're gonna be away from us, if you're gonna sacrifice being by my side and by the kids, then make it count. She would tell me that, make it count. And every time she would say it to me, it would just crush me. I would feel that, I've got to make it count, right? But you're going to have to make it count too. You're going to have to go in there, and you can't accept somebody telling you, taking your dream away or taking away this business because they don't believe in it or don't like it. I cannot tell you how many times people have made fun of me for doing network marketing. And those same people come back and try to borrow money later. It's always a sweet little moment. I hope you all experience it at some point. The second thing, and this is not Momentous, this is purely me, is that I know I've been blessed. I'm so grateful to my Lord and Savior. Every single day I wake up and I go, thank you. I don't thank him. I don't say, no, it's all right. I'm not saying it for that reason. I'm saying it because I don't thank him for my bank accounts. I don't get on my knees and go, thank you for the checking account. That was so great. Oh, the savings account, Lord, thank you so much for that. That is awesome. Oh, remember the CD I bought last month? That was awesome. Thank you, Lord. That's not it. I thank him for my wife. I thank him for the health of my children, my family, my father, my brother who's here, Jeff. I thank him for the things that are important like you do, right? The things that really matter. But isn't it amazing how finances screw up all those important things? Isn't it amazing how when people don't have money, they can't enjoy their family like they should? Their physical health goes away. The fun that they used to have diminishes. We can change that. We can help people help themselves, and that is truly a gift. I hope you accept it. God bless all of you. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning.